Kawhi and Danny are moving on to Toronto, and DeMar DeRozan and Jakob Poeltl are coming to San Antonio. We hope that this will be a good situation for everybody involved. Kawhi obviously worked very hard to become the player he is. Our staff worked very hard to help him get there, and we wish him all the best as he moves on to Toronto. I think that he's going to be great. Danny Green will be missed. He's been here quite a while, and he was a big part of what we do both on and off the court. He was a great community guy, and we're going to miss him very much. With DeMar coming to San Antonio, I couldn't be happier. I think this trade is going to be good for both teams. DeMar is obviously, a four-time All-Star and an All-NBA player. He's been great in the community there, a team player, somebody that I've respected and watched play for a while now, and we're thrilled to have him here. Jakob is a young talent that I think has a great opportunity to develop into a very good NBA player. So we're very anxious to get them involved in the program and let them know, how we do things and have them become important parts of the program.
Do you think you had a fair chance to mend relations with Kawhi?
Well, Kawhi conducted himself wonderfully while he was here. He helped us win a 5th championship. As I said, he was a hard worker all the time, and we wish him well. But at this point, it's time to move on. I'm concerned about Jakob and DeMar and our basketball team and putting that together. We've got a lot of young kids, and it's exciting. But in no way, shape, or form does it do any good to go back in time and talk about A, B, or C. It's time to move on.
What's been the hardest part about all of this for you?
Trades and cuts are always the worst. When you have camps every year and you got to look guys in the eye and say, well, we're going to let you go. That's always tough, and trades are tough. I talked to Kawhi on the phone. I talked to Danny on the phone. Those are personal relationships that you have with people, and that's always difficult. It's probably the toughest part of our profession.
Were you glad you'll only have to face Kawhi once a year?
Well, Kawhi, he's not going to stop being a great player. But as I said, we're thrilled with the trade we were able to make, and we're going to make it great.
DeMar was a fixture in Toronto. Did you talk to him and how he affected him?
I've not had a chance. He's otherwise engaged at the moment, and I'll be talking to him a little bit later this afternoon.
Pop, I know you've dealt with him in USA Basketball. Can you give us, and those that don't know DeMar very well,
Well, I haven't really dealt with him. Just for the record.
Okay.
I will next week.
Okay.
But, he was on the Olympic team, and when I was there, we coached the development group that played against him. So I don't have a personal relationship with DeMar at this point. But, we've done our background work and talked to a lot of people, and without exception, I've got a pile of emails on my desk already from people that understand, what kind of a person he is. Everybody knows what kind of player he is, but off the court, he's been very active and heartfelt, in his community. So I'm sure that he'll do the same thing here.
Pop, when you think so much of Kawhi, as we all know that you did.
I'm sorry?
When you think so much of Kawhi, as we all know that you did over the years, was it awkward to be in a position where you're trying to figure out how to get value for him and to be able to replace him in a way?
Sure. You have a relationship with individuals over a number of years, and in a professional sense, that relationship stops. But hopefully you move on and you continue an off the court relationship with people. I've been around here a long time, and there are a lot of people that I still keep in touch with. An awful lot of people from many years ago, and I'll be coaching Kawhi next week at USA basketball. So
What's that going to be like?
I look forward to it.
How difficult has this off season been for you personally and professionally?
It's been difficult.
When it became obvious that a trade was going to happen, how difficult is it to thread that needle between, getting assets back that you can remain competitive and also build for the future? Is that a priority?
Well, of course it is, and I'm sure that I can't speak for Toronto, but obviously, but I thought our staff did an unbelievably great job in bringing back quality players, quality people, and in DeMar, a proven all-star. I have to be thrilled with that, and I am.
Following on what Jeff is asking, was the emphasis in all this to be as good as you can be next year, or was there kind of a balance between being good long term?
We've never been a short-term organization. We've thought short-term and long-term both at the same time. What's good for the organization from 2 decades ago. So that's not something that the values stay the same. What we think makes the program tick and be consistent stays the same. It has nothing to do with the number of years. I think we've sustained a pretty good level of excellence for a very long time, more than most, and hopefully that'll continue. And I'm confident it will with someone like DeMar and a young player like Jakob that can develop.
Yes. Losing Tony Parker this offseason.
That was real tough, but he's good. He's going to be in San Antonio forever. He'll come back after he's done playing in Charlotte, and we'll still drink wine together and go to dinner and watch the kids grow. But there's a season for everything and a time and place for everything, and this was really good for Tony. He'll get more playing time. It'll kind of rejuvenate him a little bit. I think he's really excited to be there in Charlotte. And we've got some young kids that we need to develop, in DeJounte and Derek White, Bryn, so forth.
Coach, for some time we saw the Kawhi being traded, due to all the rumors. But when it came down to the final decision, what led to include Danny Green in that trade? Was it a franchise decision, or was it
Well, in trades, money has to match to a certain degree, and so that limits you to certain players that have to be included. And in this case, that fell upon Danny, more or less. So it was tough because he's come such a long way. We cut him twice. And over the years, he turned into Danny Green. And we're very proud of him for that and very happy for him. He's set for life. And I think, he'll enjoy Toronto.
How recently did you feel that Kawhi, there was still a chance that he might stay?
We talked often over the summer about a lot of different things, both on and off the court. So, attempts were made, to see what would be best. And in the end, this trade appeared, and we felt that this was the way to go.
Is there any question still about his health? Kawhi's health?
I don't think so. No.
Bob, what about Manu? Any thoughts, feelings?
Manu is chasing bears up in the Northwest. Totally. Well, let's see. He's a free agent, right? So I guess he's not under contract.
Oh, he's under contract.
He's still. Oh, that's right. He's under. Yeah, he's that kind of thing. Whatever. So that means that we could make his contract null and void because of the hang gliding and the bear chasing and zip lining stuff that he's doing up there. So I sent an investigator to watch him if we could get it on film. because you got to prove it in court. So we're trying to get some film on him.
You said you never gonna let him retire. It's gonna be like a tube of toothpaste. You're gonna squeeze it till there's nothing left.
It's kind of funny. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I sent him a picture when he was younger, and he's dunking over somebody, and his hair's flying all over, and it was kind of a hint, like, you can keep doing this sort of thing. And he sent me back a picture of like my first year here as an assistant. So, I'm not sure what that meant. Like, you're crazy, and you're old too, or something. I don't know what.
There's a narrative out there that Kawhi was this bad teammate because he was on the bench and he wasn't around during the playoffs.
That's all ridiculous. Kawhi was a great teammate all the way through. He did his work. He was no problem for anybody, but talking heads out there have to have stories, and I get it. If I was a talking head, well, maybe I am. I'd have stories too, but all those stories that denigrated him in that regard, that was unfortunate and inaccurate.
But was it sadness to see Kyle go too? Because he had just found his
Kyle,
role last year.
Yeah, I'm glad you got. I knew we'd bring him up one by one, and this is like the end of the year deal that I never did. Sorry. Kyle was very difficult, but this was kind of like we've had some in the past, like Corey Joseph or Baines. You get a contract like that, and you got to take it. That would have been very difficult for us to match that contract. And so when you have somebody like that and you watch them develop and they leave, and it's for the right reasons. He's got a career. He's got to take care of it. We've had other people, as I said, in that position where they move on to a bigger contract after they develop. So he was special here, off the court, on the court. Again, a great teammate. I mean, I can't think of anybody we've had here who hasn't been a great teammate. So that goes without saying. It's kind of part of the definition of being here. So he'll be great in Memphis. I'll hate playing against him. As we said, he's always like a utility infielder. He does everything. He plays, 3 or 4 different positions. I mean, we put him at the point running pick and roll half the time last year. He played second most minutes on our team last year, for those who don't know that. He is a special player.
Along those lines, Pop, Rudy Gay coming back. Obviously, you got to be happy about that.
Oh, I'm thrilled about it. He played through all that injury last year, and there had to be some trepidation on his part, whether his ankles, his Achilles would hold up, that sort of thing, and he played through it all. And there were times when, he was our go-to guy. There were certain games that he won for us because he scored, and we're looking forward to him being even healthier this year. And obviously he enjoyed being here, so he signed up again, and he'll be an important part of what we do.
Did you guys pick his brain at all? Because him and DeMar are very close. They had some time up in Toronto together.
I did not know they were close until after the fact.
In the end, Bob, was the Kawhi thing just not going to work, and do you feel comfortable that the organization and you did everything you could to make it work?
At this point, my main interest is definitely not to look back. It doesn't do us any good whatsoever. I'm thrilled to have DeMar and Jakob join us. And from that point on, that's where my focus will be. I'm not too interested in talking about the past.
You mentioned in the West, you got to have firepower. Do the moves that you make this offseason, including adding DeMar, shift to more of an offensive focus in the scoring that you had this summer?
Yeah, you got to shoot the basketball, and DeMar does that well. But the rest of the makeup of the team, having Derek White develop, having Bryn come back, having Rudy come back, all people who can shoot it. Adding Marco Bellinelli, is important. So those things, round out and helps LaMarcus, do his thing down there. But that shooting will help us a great deal.
A lot of the chemistry built, the way the Spurs play is because of that camaraderie they have over the years. But now we have Tony, we have Kyle, we have Danny, Kawhi. All these guys that basically had chemistry. How are the new guys going to fill in those spots? Do you already have in mind somebody who's going to take over the Tony spot, Kyle spot, based on the new guys?
Well, DeJounte Murray is our point guard. I think that's probably pretty obvious to everybody. But as far as the way the team rounds out in the minutes and how they're issued, is going to be determined when training camp comes and, after that. So we don't decide and put that in stone ahead of time. But we got a great group to work with, and we've changed the team before. I mean, every championship that Timmy played on was a little bit different. So this year will be not much different than other years. We had a lot of additions last year. The year after Timmy retired, we won 61 games and went to the conference finals. The team changed. And, last year under tough circumstances, the 47 wins I thought was an excellent effort on the part of the team. And there were a lot of players that hadn't played a whole lot in the past. So, we'll do it again, but we'll have an even more talented crew this year than we had last year.
But in a way, having a new group, does that re-energize you after a difficult offseason?
Sure. I really don't spend a lot of time trying to assess how easy or difficult a season was. Each season it's a different mosaic. It's always exciting and fun to put it together and go to training camp and see who develops and, who starts to fit with whom on the court. So it doesn't matter how easy or whether you won a championship the year before or not. You go right back to work and put it together again. That's what this is all about, being consistent and being persistent, in what you do. And I've got a great staff, coaching-wise. Management staff is superb. Everybody participates, and together we'll all figure it out.
Move Becky up to that front row.
Oh, Becky. Sure. Becky is a very knowledgeable basketball coach. And it was a natural progression for her to take JB's spot at this point. She's highly respected by the players. She's creative. She's very confident. Her ideas are sound. And to have her on the front of the bench now is an addition that I look forward to. And hopefully it'll be a signal to a lot of other women out there who are pretty capable and can function in that capacity.
Have you had a chance to watch Lonnie at all and your thoughts on him and bringing him into this program?
Well, I'll give one thought. I watched the Summer League from here in San Antonio. I thought I had a better seat sitting watching it on TV and seeing the replays than being in Vegas. And the one thought that went through my head when he would use some of that athleticism and he would do something that was a little bit off the cuff, I started thinking about Manu when he was young, So got to let him run a little bit and see where it goes. But he's a highly intelligent young man. He's got a passion to get better, and he did a good job in the Summer League.
As far as does it play a part in you being the coach of Team USA, upcoming for the 2020 Olympics?
Well, those are two separate things. I mean, if I wasn't coaching the USA team, I'd still be coaching the Spurs. It's a huge responsibility, obviously, and I will think about it probably on a daily basis to some degree, because that's just a natural thing. But it's a humbling thought to coach that team. But it doesn't preclude me from doing what I'm doing with the Spurs. I think Coach K did a halfway decent job coaching Duke and winning over and over and over again with USA basketball. So he led the way, and he was able to do it. So hopefully I can follow in his footsteps.